Much to the disbelief of the skeptics, we actually did get a blizzard in New Orleans. I myself was one of the skeptics. I didn't believe it was going to happen. They were talking about, we might get 5 to 8 inches of snow or something, and I was like, yeah, right. It doesn't snow here. I've lived in places where it does snow, but it's been a while. I've been here for 6 or 7 years now. God, where does the time go? Anyway, we did get 11 inches of snow, maybe 10 and a half inches. And it snowed and snowed and snowed all day 2 days ago, and it just didn't stop. So we've got the remnants of it left over. It's kind of just crunchy snow and ice now, but it was something. I see snowmen all over the yards. I would venture to say most of the people who are here and have lived here for most of their lives have not ever experienced snow. I can safely say nobody living in this region for their whole lives has ever experienced snow like this. It was the first ever blizzard warning in the state of Louisiana. For those of you that don't know, we generally don't have a winter season. It just doesn't usually happen. I read this article that said New Orleans was known for its 4 distinct seasons, and I had to laugh because I was like, what are you talking about? And once I read closer, I realized it was saying that it has a winter season, although it only lasts 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
This makes no sense.
And I was like, well, that's not, I don't think that's generally what most people think of when they hear that it's, a place has 4 distinct seasons. I generally think that you get 3 months of each season if your place has 4 distinct seasons, but whatever, that's not what the author of that particular article had in mind. But it's nice though, because I'm a notorious hater of the heat, so I'll take cold weather, I'll take a change of pace anytime. I'm not going to argue with that. They of course shut down the schools, they closed the highways, the interstate is still closed nearby. So it was MLK on Monday, so the schools were shut down then. They shut down all the government offices and everything else from Tuesday through Thursday. It's Thursday now, it's 21 degrees right now, but it's not windy or anything, it's nice, it's okay. I'm not convinced they're gonna be able to open the roads again for tomorrow. The interstate's still closed, so I'm almost about halfway convinced that they probably will keep the schools closed for another day in the government offices, because where I am, the parish president has said to stay off the roads still. For those of you who don't know what a parish is in Louisiana, they're under the Napoleonic law, or they were at one point, and one of the carryovers is that they use the term parish instead of county. And a lot of places around don't have mayors, like New Orleans has a mayor, but surrounding parishes don't necessarily have mayors. They have what they call parish presidents who are elected, and instead of operating over the city in particular, it's an entire parish thing. So anyway, the one here and most of the surrounding ones has said to stay off the roads. Apparently there was a ton of wrecks and things like that, people trying to get out on the roads. I got out on the roads this morning only through the neighborhood for a couple of minutes, and there was ice everywhere. I didn't feel safe doing it. The only reason I did was because my daughter wanted to go to her job at the coffee shop. She's 18, but I didn't want her to drive on the road, so I drove her myself, and I drove very slow. So it's supposed to get up above freezing today for a few hours, so hopefully the roads clear out and all that stuff. But we had a winter wonderland for a few days, so it's pretty cool. I read a report that said that it was swapped. All 50 states got snow. Many of the states in the south got more snow than the ones in the north, so weird. But it's pretty cool. I'm looking at a little stream over there. There's snow still on top of it, and the stream itself is frozen. So, hey, whatever. Only thing is we don't have any nice landscape to enjoy the snow. There's no mountains or anything that just looks beautiful with snow on it and stuff, so I miss Denver. I started thinking, is there something that's snow-based? I started thinking about A Song of Ice and Fire, but I read those so long ago, it's been forever. What's your best cold weather book? What's your best icy book? your best, maybe Nordic Noir. That would be a good one. Nordic Noirs, I love those. I love the TV shows. Carpy, that was a great show. If you haven't seen Carpy on Netflix, watch it. I think they call it Deadwind or Dead Winds or something like that. That's a good one. I enjoyed that one. If you hated it, sorry. Learn to enjoy things. What other Nordic Noirs are there? Any good Nordic Noirs? Anybody know any good Nordic Noirs? Any TV shows or books or anything like that? I'm thinking of Joe Nesbo. Haven't read any of his books, but he's got that sort of icy, I don't know where his books take place, but he's sort of got that icy crime type of thing. What did he write? The Snowman, a bunch of other books. So I need to read some of his. I've had a couple of his on my reading list for a while. But yeah, today would be a good day to curl up with an icy Nordic Noir or some mystery or something like that. Someone gave the advice that if you want to start reading classics, and I've read classics before. My college degree was in literature, so we read poetry and classics for 4 years and stuck our pinkies out over our tea while we discussed poetry and did all kinds of hipster stuff. And mercifully, I've been cured of that. But I did have some hipster ideas, I guess, during college, pretending that stuff was awesome when it's really not. Whatever, to each his own. But I did want to sort of start going back to reading some of the classics, some of the ones that I missed. And I watched this YouTube video, and if I can find it, I'll link it. But I don't know. It was just a quick video. Somebody can probably tell me, where they recommended reading 12 pages a day of a classic. Like, don't get rid of whatever you're normally reading, but just add 12 pages a day of a classic. And I was like, man, that'll take forever. So the first one I wanted to read was Anna Karenina, Anya, Elsa. Anyway, the guy gave a stat that they basically ended up reading like 10 classics that year in addition to whatever else. It was a group or something that they read. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So in addition to what I'm already reading, let me start. So I kind of started, I think, on like January 4th, and I'm 250 pages into Anna Karenina, and it hasn't dipped into my ordinary reading. I'm still reading my other books, but once a day I make sure to try to read 12. A couple times I forgot and I read 24 the next day, but just stop at 12. Just read 12. And by the end of the year, I should have read 8 or 9 classics, depending on how long they are. If I read that, which is long, that's obviously the one I'm reading first, and I won't be done until like a week into February. No, a week into March. And then I want to read The Count of Monte Cristo, which is also quite long, and I read a few hundred pages of it a while back, 10 years ago or something, but never finished it. So if I read these long ones, I might only get 6 of them read, but that's 6 more than I would have read, so that's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, that's what I've been reading. In addition to reading all my normal stuff, I just started a book by Elmore Leonard, and I'm 3 or 4 chapters into that, and I also wanted to get my sci-fi fix, so I just started Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which I've been wanting to read that for a while, so I finally jumped in and started reading that one. So anyway, tell me, what are you guys reading? How many books do you read at once? Is anybody crazy like me and just reads 3 or 4 at a time? I always have one that it's like my main focus, but I'm oftentimes in the middle of 3 or 4 books. I don't know why. I guess I have one to suit the mood every time. So what are you guys reading? Do you have any good Icelandic, Nordic, cold weather books to recommend? And do you read a lot of books at once? Did you get snow where you were? I don't know, just leave comments, I don't care. I like to engage with some comments. In my last video, I talked about Nick Clausen, and I got some comments, including one from the author himself, Nick. And he even told me how to pronounce his last name. It's not Clausen, it's Clausen. Anyway, enjoy your reading. If you are in a place that is cold, stay warm, stay by the fire, sip some cocoa, coffee, or something like that, and I'll talk to you again soon.